They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy John from Project Ellsworth, and I am back with you today to give you my review of the 1968 classic, Night of the Living Dead. Good morning, everybody. If you're new to my channel, remember to click that subscribe button. I do a couple of these things every week. Night of the Living Dead was written by John Russo and George A. Romero. It was directed by George A. Romero, starring Duane Jones and Judith O'Day.
A bizarre adventure in fear. An experience in shock, more shattering than your strangest nightmare. Night of the Living Dead.
Our story begins with brother and sister Johnny and Barbara paying a visit to their father's grave, when all of a sudden a zombie approaches. It's not too sudden. Very slowly, a zombie approaches and attacks Johnny. Barbara runs away. Eventually, she comes across an old farmhouse and she goes inside. Once she's inside, eventually a guy named Ben shows up. He drives up. He's looking for gas. Once he gets in the house and he comes across Barbara, he gets himself together a little bit and he begins to board up all of the doors and windows. And after they are safely inside here with everything boarded up, all of a sudden, this is more all of a sudden, 5 people show up that had been hiding in the basement. You have a husband and a wife and their little girl, and you have another younger 20-something couple. That little girl seems sick. What's the matter with that kid? By today's standards, this movie would probably be considered by many to be pretty slow and pretty boring. But the importance of this movie cannot be overstated. This was actually the birth of the modern day zombie movie, and more importantly, this was the introduction of George A. Romero to the rest of the world. The acting in this movie, it's nothing special. It's actually kind of cringeworthy towards the end of the movie. There's a guy being interviewed by a reporter, and he's walking around in the aftermath of what just took place throughout the movie, and he literally sounds like he's reading from a script. The only performance that I thought was done really, really well was Duane Jones' performance as Ben. I thought he was outstanding. And when you want a movie to be successful, you sort of need that from your leading man. And as far as the effects go, they're really non-existent in this movie either. It's 1968, so there certainly is zero CGI. There was no such thing back then. There is a bit of like flesh eating in this movie, but I certainly wouldn't qualify that as being special effects. I mean, even the scenes where there's blood, where there's very obviously blood on film, it's black and white, so you really can't see it. It looks like somebody just has like ink on their clothes. And back to the flesh eating thing, also, it's in black and white. So it's really not gory. You just see like things flapping, hanging out of people's mouths. There's a scene where somebody appears to be eating organs. I think there's someone eating, it was either a shin or a forearm. I don't remember what it was, but it's not exactly what I would call special effects. We'll just call them effects. I thought the sets were really cool too. Basically, you only really have 2 locations. You're filming in the beginning of the movie, at the very beginning of the movie, in a graveyard, and then the rest of the movie takes place in an old abandoned farmhouse. But they definitely set the stage for things to come. Honestly, the real star of this movie is the directing, George A. Romero. He's definitely the star here. He carries out the sense of doom and gloom and the sense of hopelessness and desperation very well here. His job in creating the environment that they're in and the feeling that you get watching this, and like I said, the hopelessness and the desperation, that's all. I mean, yes, it's on the actors as well, but he's the one that had the vision and he's the one that directed this film, and he is certainly the star of Night of the Living Dead. 52 years ago, Mr. Romero took his idea and $114,000 and created a blueprint of the modern day zombie movie. So Night of the Living Dead, 1968. This is one of those films that every horror fan needs to watch. You can just feel that this movie was something special. You could feel that the filmmaker loved what he was doing, that it wasn't a big budget event. It wasn't made for any other reason than this guy had it in his heart and in his mind that he wanted to create this masterpiece, and you can tell that he loved what he was doing and he was having fun every minute of it. If you haven't seen Night of the Living Dead, do yourself a favor. You need to watch this movie. It's something special. Have you seen this flick? How did you feel about Night of the Living Dead? If you haven't seen Night of the Living Dead, why? Leave me some comments down below and let's talk about it. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like this video and you have been enjoying my content up to this point, please do me a huge personal favor. Click that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, have a kick-ass day, and thank you for watching. Later, folks.